It's Transports96 here with another video review. This time I am reviewing the movie Guardians of the Galaxy. Like I say in all the beginning of my reviews, I am not, like a movie reviewer. This is really just for anybody who watches my toy reviews who wants to hear my opinion on the movie. So yeah, so here we go. As well as this will be spoiler filled. I don't hold back in my reviews and I'll really just talk about anything. So if you haven't seen the movie, don't watch this, I would say. So yeah. So overall, starting off, I really did enjoy this movie a lot. I was going into it pretty excited, not quite knowing what to expect though. I didn't know if this was going to be a very goofy and comedic movie, or if this would be serious, or if this would be a really, good mixture of both. And I have to say, it did, for me at least, be a really good mixture of both. Starting off just with the characters, I don't think that there was a single character here that didn't at least meet my expectations. There was nobody that I was even slightly disappointed with, which just doesn't happen. I mean, if there's some new characters, especially a big cast like this, there's some characters I'm excited for, some that I'm just kind of on, and every single one of them really at least met my expectations, which I think was absolutely fantastic and something that really just doesn't happen very much. So that was very cool. I think that the characters in this movie is just what makes this great, and really just, it's such a character-driven movie, I think. I'm starting off with Star-Lord. Really did like his character. I thought Chris Pratt was a really good person to play him, and just really found him quite enjoyable, pretty funny, and just a good character overall. Gamora, really liked the whole thing of kind of being the adopted daughter of Thanos. Really neat that she kind of starts over at the villain side, and she was really great. Did enjoy her humor, as well as the actress. Really, really good physical fighting style there. She really seemed like she could really take people down, and then really enjoyed her fight scenes and everything as well. Drax, I think, was the one that kind of went way over my expectations. Drax was hysterical in this movie. I haven't, whenever I've watched this movie, I watched it 4 times at the moment, Drax is the one that brings in the most laughs, I have to say. Everybody laughs when, Drax is doing something that's supposed to be comedic. I really think that he is a great character that was really fun to watch. And he's not portrayed by, a great actor either, He's just a wrestler, so, his acting ability isn't super high or anything, but the character that he plays is perfect, and he just turned out to be very funny and just a really great member of the team. I like the whole fact that, his family is dead, it gives him a nice little backstory, and I love that each of these characters are really going through something that's really apparent in the movie, which I think is cool. Groot was the one that I was very looking forward to seeing, and he did not disappoint. Really funny, really sweet, and just a fantastic character. I like his very innocent type of demeanor and almost childlikeness and scenes, and I really just found him to be great. Rocket Raccoon, he was the other one that I was like, he could either be pretty funny and, fan favorite, or he can be just the one that's very annoying. He turned out to be very funny, and I really did enjoy him a lot. I think Bradley Cooper did a great job voicing him. Really did like it, and he was very funny and very entertaining. And the CGI on both Groot and Rocket are really fantastic. When you look at them, all you see is the CGI. There is not a single scene where I'm just like, ooh, the level of that, just wasn't quite good. They should have cleaned that up a bit. It was pretty perfect throughout the entire movie, which I really did enjoy and love. Villain-wise, they were okay. I go into Marvel movies especially looking so forward to seeing the villain, I like the heroes and everything, but the villains are the ones that I'm most looking forward to. This movie, that wasn't the case. I did not go into this movie looking forward to seeing Ronan. I went into it looking forward to seeing Groot, That just shows you how great that main hero cast really is, to make me completely like the heroes more than the villains. Ronan was good, I really did like him. I liked the person acting as him. I did enjoy. I liked the way that he spoke. I liked the way that he walked, and he had a couple really nice shots of him too. Really did like it, and I liked the character very much, as well as I liked his interaction with Thanos, being the son of Thanos, or the adopted son. Really did enjoy that. Nebula was pretty good. I did enjoy her character. She wasn't, like fantastic or anything, but I did enjoy her. I thought she was going to be in the movie a little less too, and she ended up being a decent part of the movie, and she did survive at the end, so we very well might see her in another movie. I was very surprised with that. I did not expect her to live, but she did, so we very well might see her again, so that would be pretty nice. nice. And overall, I did like her. The scene that I loved with Nebula was when, you know, after Drax shot her and she gets up and her body's like fixing herself. I love when she stands up and her jaw is completely out of place and it just snaps in place and you hear the crack of it snapping in place. I think that that was such a cool scene. I don't know why. Maybe it's just me, but I thought that that was so awesome, I have to say. And yeah. Comedy-wise, I was really expecting the first scene of this movie to be very comedic, to really set the tone of the movie as a lighthearted, superhero movie. I was very much expecting that, because we've seen that before in Marvel movies, and that actually wasn't the case, and this was something that I really enjoyed. The first scene did not have comedic elements. It was very solemn and sad, and kind of set up the background for our main character, Star-Lord, which I really enjoyed. You know, it was a scene where his mother dies. I was super impressed that they did that. I thought that they were going to start it off with a lighthearted scene to let the audience know that you're going to have a good time watching this movie, you know, and they didn't, which is something I personally loved and was very happy and pleased that they did that with. So I you know, just love that. And then we get to see him get picked up, and then the next scene is that type of comedic scene mostly. You know, we get the nice him kind of walking around this kind of deserted, you know, planet with nobody on it and trying to find something, which is kind of cool. And what I liked was the cast names came up, you know, as he's walking, which is something that we really don't see in superhero movies. You know, every now and then we'll see that, and you know, movies a couple years back, I think you know, seem to do that a little bit more. And I enjoyed seeing the cast, you know, names come up as he's walking around and stuff. I don't know why, but I thought that that was a nice way of doing it. And then, of course, when he plays the song is very catchy too, and I really enjoyed it. I have to say, typically that type of scene where he starts dancing around in there would have really been one that I wouldn't have liked too much. I found it to be quite funny. I mean, when he picks up the rat and uses that as a microphone, all I can see when he does that is Jack Black. I don't know why, but when he does that, I just picture Jack Black doing that. I have no idea why. The first time I saw it and I thought about that, you know, when I came home, I was like, well, maybe if I see it a second time, I won't think that. Second, third, and fourth, all I can see is Jack Black when he does that. But overall, I really enjoy that type of scene. It really, you know, kind of gets me excited for the fun movie we have ahead of us. So, really do like that. Steals the orb, of course, and there's some, you know, nice chase scene and whatnot. And, overall, really good. The comedic scene's very funny, I have to say. I love the scene where Groot, you know, stabs all of those warriors, starts smashing them around the entire cabinet, and then turns around with the little kid, you know, almost like, did I do good, with that big smile. It's just hysterical. A lot of funny parts in this movie. A lot of great dialogue, and like I said before, I did like the personal struggle that each of them had. You know, with a movie with this big of a cast, and with some kind of ridiculous characters, like a raccoon and a big tree, you would expect that, you know, the main character, or maybe 2 or 3 of the main characters, would have some personal issue that they were going for, but the other ones would be just more, you know, they'd just be more there as like as a character, not so much have so much of a backstory. But I really felt that they all were going through struggles. Of course, Star-Lord, you know, being, you know, basically, you know, stolen at birth, and, you know, having to live in this new world, as well as his mother dying and never knowing his father, you know, definitely huge issues. Drax losing his family to the villain. Gamora being having her parents killed and then adopted by the person who killed them, and everybody really associates her with him. You know, it's got to be very terrible. Groot is the only one that doesn't have too much, I have to say. He really just you really get his feelings and everything based off of his relationship with Rocket, which I do like. And then Rocket with just being the one that everybody, you know, kind of hates because he's just like a little rodent, and him, you know, never liking that, and, you know, like he says in the movie, you know, didn't ask to be made and stuff. So I really like that each of them were going through issues, and the issues were all addressed in the movie at certain points, but they were never clearly resolved for everybody, which I think is really great for Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I would love to see more of how their issues affect them in the sequel. I really wish that they would expand upon that, and I believe that they will so I'm very excited to see how that goes, and very much looking forward to it. I really love Guardians of the Galaxy. Very lighthearted, very fun, but at the same time it was serious too, and it wasn't like it's a kids movie. There's lots of death in this movie, which I thought was really quite neat. One of my favorite shots is when, you know, all the Nova Corps where they create that big, you know, kind of net, if you will, to try to stop Ronan's ship from getting to the ground. And then, you know, just like after a while, they, you know, well, first of all, he starts ordering his men to just kamikaze the world and just start smashing into it. And then Ronan, you know, I like that he says, "I accuse you," because he's Ronan the accuser, but he does go and he just kills the entire Nova Corps. I really wasn't expecting that. I was like, whoa, okay. So I really did enjoy that type of stuff. I enjoyed the wrap up at the end with Yondu. I like Yondu's character. He plays a lot like the guy that he does in Walking Dead. You know, he is that kind of jerk, but you do get a little bit more heart in him in this movie, and I did enjoy his character and his relationship with Chris Pratt here. I thought that it was a really interesting one that they can definitely expand upon, and I did enjoy that. As well as in the end credits, or not the end credits, but the end of the movie, I did like the Nova officer, how he goes and you see his family, and his family is the one that, you know, Rocket saves on the bridge. Just little stuff like that just kind of ties in things. Really do enjoy that stuff, and I really just love the movie overall. It's serious in moments, it's funny in moments, and it's a blast, I have to say. It's really quite fun the entire time. I haven't talked to a single person who's seen this movie that didn't really like it. I've never heard anybody say that they didn't like it, actually, which is just massive. I hope this movie does super well, because it certainly deserves to, and really just, I loved it. I thought it was a fantastic, fun ride. I'm definitely going to see it a few more times, and cannot wait for the Hot Toys to come out of these. Can't wait for the DVD to come out, and can't wait for the sequel, because it's just going to be fantastic, and I'll look forward to each and every one. I hope this is a big franchise, and the success of this movie, because I think that there is a great deal of success, will, you know, make Marvel comfortable with, really, they can make anything as long as they, you know, make it, you know, good, and they put the time into it. They'll make a lot of money with it too, because this was definitely the riskiest project for them since they did Iron Man 1, you know. So overall, really did enjoy it. I thought it was a great time. Highly recommend any of you see it. If you haven't already, definitely see it. Tons of fun, some great characters, and the characters, I love the characters. They're all really fantastic. So there you go. So that would be my review of the Guardians of the Galaxy movie. Thank you so much for watching. And before I go, I forgot to talk about some couple, you know, big things. First of all, Thanos being in this movie. Now, it wasn't like a surprise or a shock that he was in the movie, I have to say. It would have been cool not to expect it, but I want to say like 8 months ago, the director was on the red carpet for something, and a person asked him, you know, will we have a chance of getting any Thanos hints or anything in this movie? And he said, I should say so, considering he is in this movie. So we expected to see him in this movie. I have to say he was really cool, really awesome to get to see a full body shot. But what's nice is we didn't get, you know, we got another taste of him. We didn't get a whole lot because he didn't fight. He didn't even stand up. All we saw him was in the chair and talking, which I think is just great. I hope that, you know, Thanos is like this new big character that we're going to be getting hints of throughout all the Marvel movies, and his Infinity Gauntlet we're getting hints on through all the Marvel movies. So I think it's great to, they've really created a lot of build up for this character, and until we see him as the main villain in Avengers 3, he's just going to be one of those people that's just causing problems for everybody in the universe, which I really think is fantastic, and I'm very excited for that. As well as they did introduce the people who didn't know about it to the concept of the Infinity Gauntlet, you know. They didn't go too in depth with it, but they did say that they were the 6 stones, and they did, you know, kind of say the power of the stones, and they did obviously really introduce the purple one in this movie, as well as you even get to see, you know, for people who didn't know, that the Tesseract is one of them as well. And overall, I thought that that was quite special. I believe the orange and the yellow one are the only ones that we haven't seen in a Marvel movie yet, so hopefully we'll get more peeks at them throughout the next Marvel movies. But I thought it was just great that the main audience would get, you know, get a little introduction to the whole Infinity Gauntlet concept, which we will be seeing much more of in the upcoming years with Marvel movies. So overall, very happy that they did show that, and I really enjoyed that, so very happy. As well as the Collector was in this movie, which we do see him at the end of Thor 2 with the Ether. But I did like the Collector. I thought that he's a pretty cool character, you know. I did like his collection. Of course, he does have some interesting characters. There's a Jatari foot soldier, as well as a Dark Elf, and what else? I mean, obviously they have the Duck, the Howard the Duck at the end credit scene. A comedic scene. I was really, considering this is the movie before Avengers 3, I was really hoping for some, you know, kind of big Avengers tease. Of course, we did get an Avengers tease with Captain America, so it's not like a big disappointment. It's not like a big disappointment, but it would have been really cool if they gave us like a 30-second trailer like they did with Captain America 1. That would have been amazing for the next Avengers, you know, that would have been super cool. But overall, the comedic scene was still good. Was hoping for a serious one, but not a huge disappointment or anything. So overall, like I said, really enjoyed this movie. Couple things that I missed on that I wanted to talk about before I post this. So there you go. Thank you so much for thank you so much for watching.